Welcome to Pseudoscience 101, the only channel where someone with lead FI in the 497 chart type, or a wannabe menace to society, mocks the personality system because they do not know how to properly communicate their hyperfixation. Attitudinal Psyche is a system where types are made up of 4 attitudes. Attitudes are a combination of an aspect, which is a part of reality, and a position, which is a reaction to said part of reality. So, if you get 2 weirdos together and get them to talk about their feelings like fucking nerds, it's going to be apparent to both of them that they have different feelings about feelings and will either start sloppily making out or beating each other to death with blunt objects. That's kinda hot. So, in Attitudinal Psyche, we have type relations, which are a general guide to smashing types together like action figures to see who wins. But before we can talk about type relations, we need to talk about position relations. The 2 most important dichotomies when determining position relations, and therefore type relations, are results-oriented versus process-oriented, and others positive versus others negative. The method dichotomy determines whether you want to end conversations or prolong them, and this is important for type relations because if I wanted to yap about pseudoscientific personality systems, but the morons trapped in the woods with me are fucking losers who just want to find some shit to eat, there would be more conflict than if everyone understood that starving is less of a priority than hearing about why the object relations triad is the coolest one in the Enneagram. I'd wink and put a card up, but I haven't made a video dedicated to it specifically yet. Like a magnet, positions with the same others-oriented dichotomy repel each other. Others' negative positions hate each other because they both assume that the other person is a fucking moron, but others' positive positions are a bit more specific to their other dichotomies. Flexible positions are self-positive, which means they think they can handle challenges, and process-oriented, which means they want to get sidetracked with meaningless bullshit. They gravitate to others' negative dichotomies because you can only be challenged when the other person isn't fucking ChatGPT with how they suck up to you. Unbothered positions, on the other hand, are self-negative, so they already think themselves to be fucking morons. And with them being results-oriented, they just want to get the conversation over with, so it's better if everyone starts on the same page. So, when I put everything in a chart, it'll look something like this. Note how positions with the same method dichotomy and different others-oriented dichotomies are making out, and ones with the same others-oriented dichotomies and different method dichotomies aren't. I'll put it off to the side so you can have a reference for when I talk about what this video is about, type relations. Hey asshats, you're supposed to be fucking cheering! The way I'm going to group type relations for this video is their shape, which essentially means how much times you can repeat the relation before going back to the original type. If we take the order 1, 2, 3, and the relation is to shift all numbers by 1, we'd have the sequence 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, and 2, 3, 1. If these were types in Attitudinal Psyche, they would have a triangular relationship, as there are 3 different orders which could be generated from the sequence. Let's start with the only dot relation in Attitudinal Psyche, the identical relation. To get the identical relation, you take your type and shift everything over by 4. Since people with the identical relation have the same type, they'll have relatively similar confidence levels in whatever they're talking about. Conversation will be easy because you understand each other, but could be boring as there's no challenge and you won't really assist each other. Moving on to line relations, they could be separated into same sexta, similar type, and opposed sexta. Remember that everything in this segment goes both ways because I do not want to say vice versa if it wasn't obvious at the end of every paragraph. Starting with the same sexta relations, the solution relation is defined by swapping the confident and unbothered positions. You give the other person your skills in handling the coolest fucking part of reality, and they accept it because you won't fucking mansplain to them the entire time. The sisters relation is made by swapping the flexible and insecure positions. You throw all your dumbest ideas at the other person and they make fun of you and you like it because you're a dirty little flexible whore. Also, when they face troubles with their insecure aspect, you help them through possibilities and ideas without pushing on them, making the relation safe and comfortable. In hindsight, having the word sisters above this image probably wasn't the best idea. The dual relation is defined by both types sloppily making out with each other all the time because their types are flipped, meaning they deal with results-oriented positions like the solutions relation and process-oriented positions like the sisters relation. Moving on to similar types, the near-identical relation is made by swapping the confident and flexible positions. It's just like the identical relation, except the other person thinks they know everything about something which you understand to be more complicated, but you listen to them anyway because what they're saying is kind of funny. The cousin relation is defined by swapping the insecure and unbothered positions. It's just like the identical relation, except the other person is a fucking loser who gets tripped up by the dumbest shit imaginable and you don't really care. The specificity relation is made by swapping the flexible and embodied positions. It's defined by wanting to tell the other person about the coolest fucking thing ever, but they would rather talk about... Hold on, I'm trying to think of the most universally uninteresting concept. I got it! You want to talk about the coolest fucking thing ever, but they just want to talk about you. And you specifically. The customary relation is defined by swapping the confident and insecure positions. When you meet, it's great, as the two of you talk in depth about your shared flexible aspect. Then, you look at their exposed nerves and think, that could be a pretty braid. And as you make the cute braid, the other person won't stop fucking screaming, and as you explain that you're just trying to make them bearable to look at, they look at your exposed nerves like a fucking psychopath and Ew, looks like I kinda touched a nerve there. Moving on to opposexilinear relations, the conflict relation is made by shifting a type by 2. So your confident and flexible aspects are their insecure and unbothered aspects, and vice versa. So this relation is a mix of the specificity and customary relations. Trauma dumping here, this is the relation I have with my mother. To end the linear relations, the faux identical relation is defined by swapping the confident and flexible positions and the insecure and unbothered positions. Since the two of you are confident in the same things, and when one person is bitchy, the other is calm, this relation seems great at first. But when you want to keep on yapping, the other person wants to conclude, so it just doesn't feel right. Holy shit, that took forever, but that's just the linear relations. We still have squares and triangles, so lightning round, let's fucking go! Radiant, shift everything back by 1. Partner A, that's you, solves partner B's problems with their unbothered aspect, and in return they help you navigate your insecure aspect. Instruction, shift everything by 2 and swap the insecure and unbothered aspects. Partner A, that's you, is consistently better than partner B, who keeps needing to be told that all their ideas suck. I have this relation with my dad, and I'm partner B. Suffocation, shift everything by 2 and swap the flexible and insecure aspects. Partner A, that's you, can't talk about anything you're interested in because partner B finds it boring as fuck. Meanwhile, partner B can't talk about the literal fucking staple of their identity because you have issues. Invention, shift everything by 1, hold the confident aspect. The shared first aspect sparks rivalry and competition, but it doesn't mean they don't care for each other. Partner 1 will gladly settle disagreements by using their flexible aspect, and in exchange, partner 2 can talk about theirs. Bring the Triforce together and you get a new wave of creativity and experimentation. Assistant, shift everything by 1, hold the flexible aspect. The shared flexible aspect provides a safe space to converse, and when partner 2 needs answers with their unbothered aspect, partner 1 will gladly help and get nothing in return. Assemble the Dragoon, and you've just created the solution relation, except worse. Enhancement, shift everything back by 1, hold the insecure aspect. Both types help each other using their confident aspects, and partner 2 watches in horror as partner 1 neglects something highly important to them. Find all 3 parts of the Sword of Swansantine, and everyone learns to get good. Regulation, shift everything by 1, hold the unbothered aspect. Partner 1 controls the conversation with their confident and flexible aspects, and partner 2 sits back, agrees, and represses their identity. Bring together some other set of 3, and I actually couldn't get this information while I was writing this part of the script due to the people at attitudinalpsyche.com making Type Relations Typology Vault exclusive information. But I can still make guesses! I think that if all 3 members come together, how they interact won't be focused on their shared fourth aspect for the same reason you don't hear internet freaks talk about what shampoo they use. However, they are going to talk about one of the other 3 aspects. In these discussions, the one with the aspect in their confident position will prevent getting sidetracked, the one with the insecure position will prevent stupid and overconfident decisions, and the one with the flexible position will prevent fights, so they'll all be regulating each other. You know, if I had a nickel for every time the Attitudinal Psyche website takes something off the website while I'm making the video for it, I would have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. But because of these 2 nickels, I don't think I'll make any other Attitudinal Psyche content in the future, because even though the system is really fucking cool and has a million layers, and how shitty it is for the website to remove the parts which made me fall in love with the system, I don't want to get anything. Money is bullshit, and I'd understand why you'd want people to pay you for a greater understanding. And for that very same reason, if I get big enough for ads, I'm gonna have 20 breaks in every video. Anyway, hope you dumbasses liked what is probably the last installment of Autistic Screams about Attitudinal Psyche. I'm sorry if a lot of shit wasn't clear or funny because I was too busy trying to cram all the type relations in there. If you have any questions in the comments, I will do my best to bullshit and answer. Also, there's never gonna be a fucking video about subtypes.